Have you ever looked someone in the eye? They smiled, they nodded, they even said they were proud of you, but something inside you twisted. It wasn't the words, it wasn't the smile, it wasn't anything obvious, but deep in your gut, your soul whispered, they don't mean it. You can't explain it. There's no evidence, no argument, no betrayal, just a strange hollowness in the air, a silent pause before they clap, a smile that doesn't quite touch their eyes, laughter that feels rehearsed. Sound familiar? You're not paranoid, you're not imagining things. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the dark unconscious side of the human psyche that hides behind politeness, behind compliments, behind empty cheers. It's the storm behind the smile. It wears a mask of love, but harbors resentment, jealousy, even hate. And if you ignore it, if you silence that whisper in your gut, it doesn't just hurt emotionally. It can erode your self-esteem, your peace, even your health. Because hate, when disguised as love, becomes a slow and poisonous drip. It doesn't stab you in the back. It drains you while it hugs you. In this video, I'll share 8 chilling signs that someone close to you may secretly resent or even hate you. Not dislike hate. And here's the thing, most people don't see it until it's too late, until the betrayal hits, until the damage is done. But you, if you stay with me to the end, especially for sign number 8, you'll gain a lens that will change how you read people forever. Let's begin. 1. Sarcasm and contempt. The poison behind the joke. You're so sensitive. Relax. I was just joking. You've heard it before. Maybe more times than you can count. It sounds casual, playful, even humorous. But inside, it cuts every single time. What if I told you those weren't jokes at all? What if those comments were actually weapons wrapped in a smile? Because sarcasm isn't always harmless. Sometimes it's surgical hate. They know your insecurities, your past, your body, your decisions, and they keep poking again and again while everyone else laughs. You feel cornered, exposed, and if you react, they flip the script. Why are you overreacting? Don't be so dramatic. Carl Jung once said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But those who refuse to look inward, they project outward. They make you their emotional punching bag. Their sarcasm isn't comedy, it's contempt. And their laughter, a mask. If someone's jokes always make you feel small, anxious, or ashamed, if you smile in public but cry alone afterward, that's not a friend. That's not love. That's psychological warfare. They're not joking. They're bleeding you slowly and leaving no bruise behind. 2. Subtle sabotage, the knife wrapped in concern. You ever had that friend who accidentally forgot to tell you something important? Maybe it was a deadline, an opportunity, a heads up you really needed, or maybe they gave you advice, friendly advice, that somehow always made things worse. They missed your big moment, didn't show up when it counted, said they were busy. Again. Once, okay. Life happens. Twice may be a coincidence, but every time, that's not forgetfulness. That's sabotage. And the scariest part? They do it while smiling, while hugging you, while saying, I was only trying to help. Carl Jung warned us the person who feels inferior will often try to lower others rather than rise themselves. They don't want you to fail exactly. They just don't want you to succeed more than them. So they play the long game. They keep you small with bad advice. They feed you doubt disguised as support. They applaud you in public, while quietly hoping you'll fall in private. They want you close, but not ahead. They want you successful, but not more than them. That's not friendship. That's quiet control. And the longer you ignore it, the deeper it poisons your confidence. 3. Silent competition, when every win becomes a war. You share your joy, a promotion, a new relationship, a small personal win. You expect a hug, a smile, maybe a celebratory toast. Instead, you get, oh yeah, guess what I just did? Suddenly the spotlight shifts, your moment disappears, their voice gets louder, their story takes over. They don't scream or fight, but their energy shifts, their posture tightens, their need to match or one-up you becomes obvious. They can't just celebrate you, they have to compete with you. You didn't sign up for a race, but they're already lacing up. Carl Jung said, what we deny in ourselves, we project onto others. And what they see in you, growth, passion, light, is exactly what they're missing in themselves. So rather than reflect, they react. They make your success feel like a threat. They turn every conversation into a scoreboard. If you constantly feel like your wins spark invisible tension, if your joy gets deflected or overshadowed, that's not a celebration. That's an ego battle in disguise. And trust me, it only gets worse the higher you rise. 4. Superficial kindness. The smile that never reaches the eyes. They say all the right things. I'm so proud of you. Wow, that's amazing. I'm really happy for you, but something's missing. You feel it. There's no spark behind the eyes, no warmth in the voice, no soul in the moment. Their words scripted, their reactions hollow, their support a performance. Because real love shows up, it's present, it feels alive. It cries with you, it celebrates you, it wraps around you when you're breaking and lifts you when you soar. But fake friends, they disappear during your darkest nights and go silent during your brightest moments. When they are around, their presence feels off, cold, mechanical, even forced. Carl Jung called this ego dissociation, when a person becomes so emotionally detached they can no longer connect with real human experience. They're not with you, they're playing a role. So ask yourself, do their words warm you or leave you feeling lonelier? Because if someone smiles but you feel colder afterward, you're not being supported, you're being managed. 5. Controlling through care. The most dangerous manipulation. It doesn't begin with harsh words. It begins softly, sweetly. I'm only saying this because I care. You'll understand one day. I just don't want to see you get hurt. It sounds gentle, protective, even loving. But your body tells you otherwise. Your shoulders slump. Your excitement fades. Your confidence begins to shrink. Because what they call care isn't really care at all. It's control in disguise. They don't scream. They don't slam doors. They don't threaten. They simply influence. Gently, repeatedly, like a vine curling around your thoughts. Like a snake slowly wrapping itself around your dreams while whispering lullabies. You share an idea. They tell you it's unrealistic. You make a choice. They say you're not thinking clearly. You express a desire or risk a step forward, and they pull you back, always under the banner of concern. The scariest part, sometimes their advice sounds wise. Sometimes it even is wise. But instead of lifting you, it slowly chips away at you. And soon you're not making decisions, you're asking permission. You stop trusting your intuition. You start doubting your voice. You live cautiously afraid of stepping out of the box they built around you in the name of protection. Carl Jung put it best, people who cannot control their own chaos try to control others. Their inner world is messy, spinning, frightening. So instead of facing their own fears, they try to organize yours. They trade healing for dominance. They don't want you to grow because your growth threatens their grip. And so they play the long game. They don't shout. They condition. They convince you that safety means obedience, that their love is a lighthouse when it's actually a leash. You begin to believe, I need their approval. I shouldn't move forward without checking. What if I fail and they were right? But here's the truth. If someone's care consistently leaves you feeling powerless, unsure, or dependent, that's not care, that's possession. True love says, even if you fall, I'll still be here, I believe in you. Fake love says, just do it my way. It's safer. One gives you wings, the other gives you chains. So next time someone wraps their opinions in kindness, ask yourself, are they protecting me or are they protecting their control over me? Because one empowers, the other imprisons with a smile. 6. Gossip and criticism, what they say when you're not around. You walk into a room, the energy shifts, smiles fade, eyes dart away, no one says anything. But you feel it. Something was said, something was twisted, and it has your name on it. Welcome to the realm of gossip, where betrayal wears perfume and whispers carry daggers. See, people who lack the courage to confront you face to face will often choose the coward's path. They don't challenge your actions. They attack your character. They twist your words, question your intentions. They plant seeds of doubt in others, slowly, quietly, strategically. And the worst part, they never say anything obvious, just enough to create unease, just enough to turn people's hearts against you, while smiling to your face as if nothing's wrong. Carl Jung understood this darkness deeply. He said, the brighter your light, the darker your shadow becomes in the eyes of others. When you shine, you become a mirror reflecting other people's insecurities. Your confidence unsettles them. Your peace agitates their chaos. Your growth reminds them of their stagnation. So they don't rise, they don't learn. They attack. In silence and gossip, in backdoor conversations you'll never hear. They don't fight fair. They stab you with words you'll never be able to defend yourself against. And then they shake your hand like they've always loved you. But here's what you need to remember. Gossip says more about the speaker than the subject. Your name in their mouth is not your shame, it's their cry for help. People who are truly at peace with themselves don't need to tear others down. They don't need to whisper, twist, or backstab. So the next time you sense the chill, the shift, know this, their whispers do not define you. Your silence in the face of gossip, that's not weakness. That's power. Keep walking, keep rising, because class echoes louder than any rumor ever will. 7. Know joy in your success when their silence screams. They were there when you were struggling, when you were lost, broken. When life had you on your knees, they stood beside you. But now that you're rising, now that your hard work is bearing fruit, silence. You send the good news. They respond with cool. You share your win. They nod and change the subject. Not a smile, not a cheer, not even eye contact. Just that subtle chill in the air, that invisible wall, that strange emptiness in the space where joy should be. Why does it hurt so much? Because when you were down, you were relatable. You posed no threat. Your failure comforted them. But your success, it exposes the gap. It reminds them of what they haven't done, haven't tried, haven't become. And instead of celebrating your glow, they dim the lights. They don't say they're jealous. They don't say they're bitter. They just stop showing up emotionally. You didn't change. You just grew. And your growth became a mirror they didn't want to look into. True friends don't flinch when you rise. They don't shrink from your light. They hold it, reflect it, celebrate it. But the ones who disappear when you succeed, they were never cheering for you. They were cheering for your struggles because those made them feel superior. And now that you're strong, now that you're thriving, they go silent. But silence is sometimes the loudest betrayal of all. There was a time they cheered for you when you were broken, confused, and quietly hurting. They were there. They held your hand in the dark. But now that you're glowing, rising, evolving, they can't look at you the same. Your success doesn't inspire them. It exposes them. And it's not about you. It's about what your light reflects back into their shadow. Every step you take forward reminds them of the ones they never took. Every dream you pursue reminds them of the ones they gave up on. So they retreat, not with a bang, but with silence. They say, that's amazing, but their eyes don't light up. They offer a polite wow, but their energy is flat, cold, withdrawn. And deep in your gut, you feel it. They don't want you to win because your win reminds them they're standing still. Carl Jung said, and if someone cannot rejoice in your joy, they are battling an internal war. Your elevation becomes a mirror. And what they see in that mirror is their own stagnation, their regrets, their resentment. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? To realize that someone who once walked with you through pain can't walk beside you through progress. But here's what you must understand. Their silence is not your failure. It's their reflection and their responsibility. 8. Body language, the truth they can't hide, words can lie. Smiles can be rehearsed. Compliments can be memorized. But the body, it tells on us. Always. You might hear, I'm happy for you. You've come so far. You deserve this. But while their mouth recites poetry, their body screams betrayal. Their smile is tightened and fades too quickly. Their shoulders stiffen. They lean away from you, not toward. Their eyes don't meet yours. They're tone lifeless. They clap a beat too late. They hug you, but there's no warmth. You feel it. Not in your mind, but in your chest, in your stomach, in the way the air changes the moment they enter the room. And no, you're not imagining things. You're not being dramatic. What you're experiencing is your intuition. Carl Jung once said, The unconscious always speaks through the body. So even when someone is lying with their words, their body will leak the truth. When someone feels envy, resentment, or hidden competition, their nervous system betrays them. Their breathing shifts, their jaw clenches, their micro-expressions flicker. You're not trained to read it, but you felt it. Because long before language existed, your ancestors survived using something more powerful than words, than instinct. You are wired to sense danger even when it wears perfume and offers a smile. That's why around certain people you feel drained, uncomfortable, confused. Your mind hears "I love you," but your body hears "run." That's the glitch in the matrix the moment your intuition sounds the alarm. Not because someone said something hurtful, but because everything they didn't say still hit you like a storm. But most people ignore this feeling. Why? Because we're conditioned to be polite, to smile, to suppress, to give people the benefit of the doubt even when our entire nervous system is screaming no. But your energy never lies. It's time to choose you. Now that you've seen the signs, the question becomes, what do you do? Here's what you don't need to do. You don't need to expose them. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to hate them. All you need to do is protect your peace, because peace is expensive. And for too long, you've been handing it out for free to people who never deserved it. It's time to stop over-explaining, to stop hoping they'll change, to stop trying to convince someone to clap for you when they've already decided to compete with you. It's time to stop pouring your light into those who only hand you shadows. Here's a hard truth you need to carry with you. Not everyone in your circle is in your corner. Some people sit beside you just to study you, to monitor your growth, to silently cheer when you slip. They don't stab with knives. They stab with silence, delayed claps, and rehearsed concern. So today, you have a choice. You can keep trying to win over people who secretly want you to stay small, or you can choose yourself, your growth, your freedom, your wholeness. Because self-love begins the moment you walk away from fake love. Self-trust begins the moment you stop asking others for permission to believe in yourself. If this video opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs these words. Someone who's felt the energy but didn't have the language. Drop a comment below and tell me, which sign hit you the hardest? Which moment made something inside you go, that's it. That's what I've been feeling. And if you're ready for more raw, unfiltered truth about psychology, human nature, and healing in a world full of masks, hit that subscribe button. Because this journey, it's just beginning. And we're going deeper, darker, and realer together. Your awakening has begun. The end, no. It's the start of the most authentic version of you.